Every season of Power Rangers comes with all kinds of Zords. Some fly, go on tracks, operate in space. Others are giant bases, cars that have googly eyes, or weird aliens that help out. Most of them are great, some are there to be funny. They also form additional combinations that wreck the bad guys. But some Zords are flat out dumb, rehashes, useless, ignored, or classified as a Zord for no good reason. The worst offenders are the designs that don't fit into the theme of the season.
Animus Megazord.
I really didn't want to put Animus in my list. He's cool looking and he's unique for Wild Force. The very few times a Megazord speaks in PR, but he's a lazy repaint of the Wild Force Megazord. They do change things here and there, the animals are different species, but the overall animal is identical. Bird, bull, cat, fish, lion. Just different variations. For an important character in Wild Force and Gaoranger, more so in Gaoranger since he was their god, you'd think that the show would have made something new, not to mention this was the 25th anniversary.
Replicant Zord.
Here's another one that's a repaint. I never saw the point with this one. While some differences were interesting, like the Chasmosaurus replacing the Triceratops, but not the Carnotaurus. Even though it's a real dinosaur, they added that stupid fin to its neck. That's not on the real thing. It was like someone was watching Jurassic Park 1 and wanted to make the Dilophosaurus that killed Nedry, but was forced to use the normal T-Rex mold. Then they just removed the pterodactyl for no reason. The US toy version was even weirder. It was called the Blizzard Force Megazord, completely different paint scheme, and they did re-add the pterodactyl back in, but it doesn't fit with the neck edition on the T-Rex. Waste of time in the show, waste of time as a toy in both versions.
Pheonix Unizord.
You can see I don't like repaints. Bright Star was a godsend for the US since the Centaurus Wolf Megazord wasn't released here, but it's still a lazy repaint besides being fully white, having a horn on the horse's head, and an exclusive Ranger Pheonix, it's identical. Plus the show only used it twice, first time in the Magi Ranger movie, which was never used in Mystic Force, and one other time in the show. I never get why Sentai does that. You go out of your way to make a new mecha, make it this big thing for the movie, but ignore it in the show. Why is Unigolo ignored in Magi Ranger? It should have been used regularly. It would have been like if the Delta Command Megazord was only used 2 times. Am I missing something here? Aren't you supposed to sell toys?
Rhino Pride Megazord.
Some of you are going, why does he hate this one? Well, it's because Rhino doesn't do all that much. Unlike other single Zords and warrior modes, like Red Battle Zord and Tiger Zord, Rhino doesn't have any other combinations. He can't form into other modes with the Jungle Pride or Master Megazords. Second, his transformation is just flip up and open. Usability is not there for the toy. On top of all this, the show itself doesn't use Dominic and the Rhino Steel Zord all that much. He's played similar to how Tommy was in MMPR, but didn't have that close connection with the team or with the Zords.
Light Zord.
I don't like either version of it. The US version is a waste of time, never get that version. But Daigoyo isn't that much better. He falls into the problem of not being used often. He's great in the show, he talks to Gold all the time, he's very funny, but when it comes to being useful in fights, no. He does have a combo with Shinkano, but it's not important. It was only used twice. The toy version is the same thing. It's a good display piece, but lacks functions. Daigoyo can't even store all the hidden discs.
Legendary Wild Force Megazord.
I never really cared for the powers given to the Legendary Megazord. It's not that they were random or pointless, they're just not good add-ons. Either they're too bulky or too weird being in the Megazord. The Wild Force add-on falls into the bulky side. It was nice that they remembered that the one episode where the Lion did the Pegasus mode, it just doesn't suit Super Mega Force. I do like the Lion more in the Samurai Power mode, it's more sleeker that way, but that just makes Wild Force a tool this Samurai season. So overall, Lion doesn't look good in Pegasus mode and just helps out Samurai.
Terror Charge Megazord.
I know I'll get some hate on this, but I don't like Ivan's Megazord. In its Zord mode, it's cool, but its Megazord mode doesn't do much. It can't combine like the Delta and Omega Max Cycle can. It just supports a flight mode for the Dino Charge Megazord and arm combos. It's not really important compared to other ones, like the Plazio Charge Megazord. I just wish it did more stuff and also came with the evil cloak when Fury took control of it. It's too basic for me.
Transwarp Megazord.
Why is this even classified as a Megazord? It never helps out the Rangers directly, it can't combine, it's only used once in a fight, and you couldn't even buy it in the US. I do like its design, I think it would have worked well if it had a combo with the Time Force Megazord. I pictured it like being the Red Battle Zord. It's just a stupid use of the name. Imagine if they called Ninjor the Samurai Warrior Megazord. We don't say the Sentinel Knight Megazord, he's just the Sentinel Knight, or the Sentinel Sword. So I'm forced to have him on my list.
Manticore Megazord.
For years, I've always hated this Megazord. I've always ignored it in the Mystic Force line. I almost forgot to put it in this list because I never care about it. The thing is, I don't like it at all. It tries to be like a formal suit for a Megazord. Decked out, fancy looking, and has a motorized feature just to make it cool. But it's only 2 Zords. That's why I hate it. Why do the other 4 merge into the Lion? The Red Ranger is the leader, but don't relegate the other 4 into this one thing. Plus, to transform into Megazord mode, you always had to use the motorized feature. You really can't do it manually, so it requires floor space and the mat it comes with. You can't just assemble it on your desk or bed, and you need batteries.
Mystic Brother.
If you've known me for a while, you'd probably guess this was my most hated mecha. When I first saw it on Go Sager, I was like, what is that? We have a chicken with an egg on its back in a season about angels. I know it's an ostrich. Not only does it make no sense, it doesn't have a header, the main gimmick of the season. So why does it exist? It was only used 2 freaking times in the show. The show itself forgot about it. Its design was so dumb. It's a crappy ARM add-on similar to the Mixer in Operation Overdrive, but 100 times pointless. I'm glad Megaforce cut it out. It's a waste of time, a waste of plastic. Don't bother with it. When it comes to Zords on PR, they gotta feel important, cool, unique, and simple to understand. They have to work with the Zords. That's the basic core element of the show. I never like it when a season comes up with some good ideas, but you can see that the designs couldn't be combined with this one, or they just thought of something and it just doesn't fit into the theme. The worst offender, they come up with the Zord and it's a lazy color swap. I'm not really complaining about repaints or limited edition colors, those are fine. They're relegated to only the toy line. But when they're made for the show, it just screams lazy, with the exception of Koryujin Black version. What are your thoughts on the Zords? Do you want them to always have a major role in the show? Or do you like the one-offs that don't really do much, but you still like completing your collection with them? I'd like to know. And if you have an idea of a top 10, please leave a comment below. Next week, I'll be talking about my 10 favorite morph sequences.